Work smart, not just hard. Mastering the shift from labor to leverage. Produced by the School of Self-Development. Introduction. The two paths to wealth. Let me ask you a question that may shift your entire perspective. Why is it that some people seem to get wealthier while doing less, while others work harder every year and barely stay afloat? This audiobook is about answering that very question, and more importantly, showing you how to join the right side of that equation. By the time you finish listening to this audiobook, you will understand the critical difference between earning through labor and earning through leverage. You'll discover why trading time for money is a broken model in today's economy. You will learn how to start building income streams that grow even when you're not working. You'll be introduced to powerful, real-world strategies used by entrepreneurs, creators, and investors to create time, freedom, and wealth. You'll begin creating your personal blueprint to transition from worker to wealth builder, no matter your current job, income, or education. This is not some get-rich-quick fantasy. This is a shift in how you think, how you work, and how you build. We've been taught that success comes from grinding, hustling, and pushing harder. And while hard work has its place, it's not enough anymore. Not in this economy. Not in this digital world. Not if you want freedom, peace of mind, and long-term wealth. Most people live on what I call the linear income path. You work an hour, you get paid an hour. Stop working, and the money stops too. This model is finite, fragile, and exhausting. But there's another way, a smarter way, a leveraged way. What if your work could compound over time instead of reset every morning? What if you could build systems, assets, or audiences that keep earning for you long after the work is done? That's the power of leverage, and it's the key to modern wealth. In this audiobook, I'll take you on a journey through two financial worlds, one where you're a laborer of money, and one where you're a leader of money. You'll hear the stories, the lessons, and the transformations of those who made the leap, and how you can too. This isn't about quitting your job tomorrow or chasing passive income schemes. This is about shifting how you think, plan, and act, so you can create value at scale, not just effort in isolation. We'll dive deep into the myths that keep people stuck in the grind, how to identify the invisible ceiling on your income, the truth about automation, outsourcing, and ownership, why leverage is available to everyone, not just the rich, and the step-by-step playbook to go from earning like an employee to thriving like an entrepreneur. This is about liberation, financially, mentally, and spiritually. So if you've ever felt like you're working hard but getting nowhere, if you've ever dreamed of owning your time and building something bigger than a paycheck, if you're tired of the hustle with no exit ramp in sight, then this audiobook is for you. Because once you understand the power of leverage, you'll never see money or work the same way again. Let's begin your transformation. Let's shift from labor to leverage. Let's learn how to work smart, not just hard. Chapter 1. Labor for money, the old model. For most of human history, the only way to earn money was to work for it. Physically, manually, hour by hour. You planted crops, hauled bricks, chopped wood, built homes, crafted goods, or served others. You earned based on what you did, not what you knew, owned, or built. And in many ways, this system made sense in a world driven by muscle over mind. The more effort you gave, the more results you got. But that system came with a price, a hidden price few people ever questioned. That price was your time. Every dollar earned came at the cost of an hour of your life. This is what we call the labor for money model, the default setting most of society is born into. It's the model taught in schools, reinforced by family, and praised in culture. Work hard, get paid. Rinse and repeat. Day in, day out. But here's the truth no one told you. This model was never designed to make you wealthy. It was designed to keep you comfortable enough to survive, but not free enough to escape. Let's break it down. The linear trap. In a labor-based model, income is linear. That means there's a direct one-to-one relationship between your effort and your earnings. If you work 40 hours, you get paid for 40 hours. If you stop working, the income stops too. This is the reality for the hourly employee, the tradesperson, the freelancer, even many professionals, doctors, lawyers, consultants, who earn well, but are still trapped by time. If they're not working, they're not earning. This creates a dangerous loop. You begin to equate your value with your hours. You believe that working more hours is the only way to earn more money. So you push harder, hustle longer, take on side gigs, lose weekends, miss birthdays. And what do you gain? A temporary bump in income, at the cost of your energy, relationships, and health. That's the illusion of labor. It feels productive. It feels noble. But it's a treadmill. You're moving, but you're not getting anywhere. The ceiling you can't see. Here's something most people don't realize until it's too late. When you sell your time, you have a maximum earning potential, and it's not very high. Let's say you work 40 hours a week at $30 an hour. That's $1,200 a week, or around $62,000 a year. Not bad, right? But what if you want to double your income? You'd need to either double your rate, not easy, or double your hours. Impossible without sacrificing your life. Even at $100 per hour, far above average, you're still capped at $208,000 per year before taxes. And that's assuming you work every single hour of every available work week. The truth? Labor has a hard ceiling. Your energy is finite. Your time is limited. Your body and brain have boundaries. Eventually, something breaks. You either burn out or break down. Modern-day examples. Let's talk about some real-world examples that might hit close to home. The overworked nurse putting in 60-plus hours a week, exhausted, but still living paycheck to paycheck. The restaurant chef grinding double shifts but can't afford a vacation. The rideshare driver hustling 12 hours a day to barely make ends meet after gas, insurance, and maintenance. The online freelancer doing design or copywriting gigs, but constantly chasing clients just to keep income flowing. These aren't lazy people. They're some of the hardest working people on the planet. But their income is attached to one fragile thing: their labor. No work, no pay. And that's the fatal flaw in this old model. Why we stay stuck. So why do most people stay stuck in the labor model? 3 reasons. It's familiar. We're conditioned from childhood to believe that success equals hard work. We idolize the grind. We believe sacrifice equals value. It's safe. There's comfort in predictability. A paycheck every 2 weeks. A set schedule, even if it means staying in a job you hate. We don't know there's another way. Schools rarely teach leverage. They teach obedience. They teach conformity. They prepare you to be a worker, not a builder. But make no mistake, there is another way. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Why labor will never create true freedom. Labor can create stability, sure, it can pay the bills. But freedom, that takes leverage. Why? Because freedom requires time. And time is exactly what labor steals from you. You can always make more money, but you can never make more time. Until you separate time from money, you will always be a prisoner to the clock, no matter how much you earn. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the limits of labor, why the game is rigged against you if you're only working harder, and why more effort doesn't always mean more results. Because if you want to be wealthy, if you want to be free, you need to break the chains of labor and discover the secret that wealthy people have known for centuries. Leverage is the key. Let's keep going. Chapter 2. The limits of labor. It's easy to believe that the harder you work, the further ahead you'll get. That's what society teaches us, right? Put your head down, grind, and eventually it'll pay off. But what if I told you that this belief, while noble, is exactly what's keeping most people from ever becoming wealthy? In this chapter, we'll explore the invisible limits of labor, why more work doesn't always mean more success, and how the rules of the game have changed in ways most people haven't noticed. Because the truth is, in today's world, working harder often leads to diminishing returns. Let's break it down. The 24-hour trap. You, me, and every billionaire on the planet all have one thing in common. We have 24 hours in a day. But here's the catch. When you rely on labor alone, you can only earn money during the hours you're actively working. And even then, your output is constrained by physical and mental limits. You can't clone yourself. You can't work 25 hours a day. You can't double your productivity infinitely. At a certain point, even with caffeine and determination, you max out. Compare this to someone using leverage, someone whose product sells while they sleep, whose YouTube videos rack up views while they're at the gym, whose real estate portfolio generates rent while they're on vacation. One earns only when they're awake and active. The other earns around the clock. That's the difference. Effort versus impact. In a labor model, effort and income are tied together. This makes sense early on. You put in work and you get rewarded. But it creates a dangerous illusion. It tells you that the only way to earn more is to do more. But doing more doesn't scale. Eventually, you hit burnout, health problems, or lifestyle breakdowns. And worst of all, you start resenting the very work that once gave you purpose. Now here's the paradox. Some of the wealthiest people in the world work less than you do. How is that possible? Because wealth isn't about effort. It's about impact. They've created or invested in systems that multiply their impact without multiplying their effort. They write one book and it sells 1 million copies. They record one video and it gets streamed worldwide. They build one piece of software and it runs millions of times. One-time effort. Ongoing impact. That's leverage. The burnout blueprint. Let's talk about the emotional cost of relying on labor. The burnout is real. When your income is entirely dependent on your daily output, every sick day, every unexpected event, every moment of rest feels like a threat to your survival. You can't take real vacations. You can't stop working when you're mentally drained. You feel guilty relaxing because rest equals lost income. You become trapped in a cycle of overwork, under-recovery, and constant anxiety. It's no wonder so many hardworking people are deeply unhappy. They're not lazy. They're simply playing a game they can't win. Because no matter how fast you run, you're running on a treadmill. The earning gap is growing. We live in a strange time. Some people are struggling to pay rent even while working 50-plus hours a week. Others are becoming millionaires in their 20s without ever punching a clock. The gap isn't just about education or opportunity. It's about understanding leverage. Labor income grows in inches. Leverage income grows in leaps. The person working 2 jobs may see a modest raise each year. The person who builds a scalable product or brand can double, triple, or quadruple their income in a single year because they're not limited by hours. They're limited only by ideas, execution, and audience. And with the rise of the internet, AI, and digital tools, leverage is more accessible than ever before. It's not just for the elite, it's for anyone willing to learn a new way. The middle-class mirage. Let's talk about a myth that traps millions, the idea of the safe job. You've probably heard it. Just get a good job with benefits, stay loyal, and retire comfortably. But that world is gone. Job security is fragile. Layoffs happen overnight. Entire industries vanish. And even if your job is safe, the model still keeps you working for decades just to buy a few years of retirement, often when your energy and health are already fading. Labor isn't just limited, it's risky. You're one bad boss, one market shift, or one illness away from starting over. And if you're only earning through labor, that restart is brutal. The modern economy punishes the old way. Here's the harsh truth. The economy rewards leverage and punishes labor. Think about it. A YouTuber with 1 million subscribers puts out one video and earns more than a factory worker does in 6 months. A software developer creates an app in 3 weeks and earns residual income for years. An entrepreneur builds a system, hires a team, and frees up time to grow even bigger. Meanwhile, someone working 2 jobs just to survive is stuck, stressed, and often in debt. It's not fair, but it is reality. And unless you learn how to use leverage, you're swimming upstream in a river that's getting faster every day. You can't multiply what you don't separate. Here's a key takeaway. To build wealth, you must separate time from income. You must stop thinking in terms of hours and start thinking in terms of systems, products, audiences, ownership, and automation. Because you can't multiply your income if it's tied to something that doesn't multiply, your time. That's the lesson. In the next chapter, we'll explore the power of leverage, what it is, how it works, and why it's the most important concept you've probably never been taught. We'll look at the 4 types of leverage, how wealthy people use them, and how you can start applying them today. No matter who you are or what you do, you don't need to work harder. You need to think bigger. Let's unlock the key to exponential growth. Chapter 3. The Rise of Leverage. If labor is a rowing boat, pushed forward only by the force of your own energy, then leverage is a sail, catching the wind and moving you with far greater speed, using far less effort. This chapter is about that sail, because while labor will keep you afloat, leverage is what propels you forward. It's how people go from surviving to thriving. It's how ordinary people build extraordinary wealth. And it's how you break free from the exhausting cycle of trading time for money. Let's dive into what leverage really is and why it's the most powerful wealth tool in the modern world. What is leverage? At its core, leverage means doing more with less. It's the ability to use resources beyond yourself, tools, people, systems, money, or influence, to magnify your results without equally magnifying your effort. In short, leverage multiplies your impact. Let's say you're a tutor. If you teach 1 student at a time, you're using labor. But if you record your lessons and sell them online to hundreds or thousands of students, you're using leverage. Same knowledge, same value, massively different reach and income. Labor is linear. Leverage is exponential. The 4 types of leverage. There are 4 main types of leverage you can use to escape the labor trap and scale your income. 1. Time leverage. People. This is when you use the time and effort of others to get more done. Example: hiring employees or contractors, delegating tasks to virtual assistants, building a team to scale a business. Time leverage frees you from doing everything yourself. It's how CEOs manage billion-dollar companies. They don't do every task, they direct and lead. 2. Money leverage, capital. This is using money to make money. It includes investing in real estate or stocks, using capital to fund advertising or product creation, buying into systems that already generate cash flow. Wealthy people don't just work, they deploy money like soldiers, sending it out to bring back more. 3. Technology leverage. This is where code, tools, and automation work for you, 24/7. Examples: a website that sells products while you sleep, a scheduling tool that books your clients automatically, an AI that handles customer service or content generation. Technology doesn't sleep, it doesn't take breaks, and it scales instantly. 4. Content and media leverage. This is the leverage of audience and attention. Examples: a YouTube video that earns ad revenue forever, a podcast episode that attracts leads while you relax, a single blog post that ranks on Google for years. Content scales your message far beyond one-on-one conversations. You do the work once, and it keeps working for you. Leverage in action, real-world examples. Let's look at some real-life examples of how leverage changes the game. The influencer uploads a video to YouTube. That video generates views, affiliate sales, ad revenue, and builds an audience. One-time work, long-term payoff. The course creator teaches a skill once, turns it into an online course, and sells it globally. Thousands of students, no classrooms needed. The investor buys a rental property. Tenants pay rent each month. Appreciation adds long-term value. Cash flow with minimal labor. The SaaS founder builds a software product once, and people subscribe monthly. The product scales without trading more time. None of these people are working harder than you. They're just using a better model. Leverage requires a shift in thinking. To use leverage, you have to let go of outdated beliefs. That working harder is more noble than working smarter. That rest is laziness. That doing it all yourself is a badge of honor. Here's the truth: the most successful people do less, but they do what matters most. They focus on strategy, they build systems, they scale their knowledge. They stop asking, "How can I do this?" and start asking, "Who or what can do this for me?" This question alone can change your entire life. You're already using leverage, you just don't know it. Think about it. You're listening to this audiobook right now. That's leverage. I recorded it once, but thousands of people like you can listen to it anytime, anywhere. I don't have to be in the room. My voice, my message, and my impact multiply because of audio leverage. Now imagine if you could do the same in your own field. What if your knowledge could be turned into content that sells? What if your time could be freed up with automation or outsourcing? What if your money could start working harder than you do? That's not a fantasy. That's leverage in action. Leverage doesn't replace work. It redefines it. Let's be clear. Leverage is not an excuse to be lazy. It's a strategy to make your hard work go further. It takes time to build a leveraged system. It takes effort to learn, plan, and implement. But once it's built, it runs. You shift from pushing every rock up the hill to building a machine that moves the rock for you. And the best part? Leverage compounds over time, A piece of content from 5 years ago can still generate income today. A team member you train today can create results for months to come. An investment you make now can pay dividends for decades. Labor resets daily. Leverage builds daily. In the next chapter, we'll explore the most critical piece of leverage you must understand: ownership. Because real wealth doesn't come from what you do. It comes from what you own. Let's continue. Chapter 4. Leverage starts with ownership. If leverage is the engine that drives modern wealth, ownership is the fuel that powers it. You can work hard. You can even build systems. But if you don't own the thing that creates income, you're still dependent on someone else's permission to get paid. That's why in this chapter, we're going to explore a truth that the wealthy understand deeply. If you don't own it, you can't leverage it. Ownership is the gateway to freedom. It's the difference between a laborer and a leader, a consumer and a creator, a borrower and a builder. Let's explore why ownership is non-negotiable if you want to escape the grind and build lasting wealth. Why ownership is everything. Think of all the leveraged income streams you've heard about: digital products, rental properties, online courses, affiliate sites, software, YouTube channels, e-books. What do they have in common? Someone owns them. When you own an asset, you control how it's used, who profits from it, and how it scales. You don't need to ask permission. You don't need to trade time. You don't need to constantly redo the work. Ownership gives you equity, compounding value, and control. Let's look at the difference. A freelancer writes copy for a company and gets paid once. A creator writes an ebook and sells it forever. An employee builds a company brand. An entrepreneur builds their own and reaps the long-term rewards. A tenant pays rent for life. A landlord collects it. One is labor, the other is leverage, and ownership is the line between them. Why most people avoid ownership. If ownership is so powerful, why doesn't everyone pursue it? Here are the main reasons. 1. It's unfamiliar. We're not taught to own. We're taught to apply, to conform, to work for someone else's dream. The traditional school system trains us to become employees, not entrepreneurs. It teaches compliance, not creativity. That's not an accident. It's a system designed to produce workers, not owners. 2. It feels risky. Ownership requires stepping into the unknown. What if it fails? What if no one buys? What if I'm not good enough? But here's the truth. Not owning anything is the real risk. Because if you don't own, you're always dependent. 3. It takes time up front. Building something you own takes longer than applying for a job. It takes learning, experimenting, and sometimes failing. But once it's built, it pays you forever. Labor pays once. Ownership pays again and again. The most valuable things you can own. So what should you own if you want to build leveraged income and long-term wealth? Let's break down the 4 most powerful categories of ownership. 1. Intellectual property. This includes anything you create that can be sold, licensed, or distributed. Examples: e-books, online courses, music, videos, and podcasts. Software or mobile apps, designs, templates, or coding frameworks. These are the digital equivalents of real estate. They don't take up space, but they create value long after you've built them. 2. Digital real estate. Owning online platforms or content that attracts attention, traffic, or sales. Examples: a blog or niche website, a monetized YouTube channel, an email list, a high-converting sales funnel, a popular social media page. Digital real estate appreciates with time, and unlike physical labor, it can scale to thousands or millions of people. 3. Physical assets. These include investments that generate cash flow. Examples: rental properties, vending machines, laundromats, car rental fleets, storage units. While these may require more capital up front, they offer strong, recurring income without ongoing labor. 4. Equity in businesses. Instead of working for a business, you can own a piece of it. Examples: starting your own business, buying into a franchise, investing in startups, owning stock in publicly traded companies. Equity multiplies your wealth because as the business grows, your slice of the pie grows too, without more effort from you. The wealth is in the ownership. Let me be very clear. The richest people in the world don't work more. They own more. Jeff Bezos didn't get rich selling books. He got rich owning Amazon. Elon Musk doesn't earn hourly. He owns Tesla, SpaceX, and more. Even in small business, the owner earns exponentially more than the highest paid employee because they own the system, not just a role in it. Ownership puts you on the receiving end of compound growth. How to start owning, even if you have nothing now. Ownership may sound intimidating, but it's more accessible than ever. You don't need millions to start. You need intention. Here's how you begin. Pick a path. Choose something that aligns with your interests or skills: blogging, coaching, content creation, rental real estate, digital products, etc. Start small. You don't need to build an empire overnight. Start with a single product, a small piece of content, a test offer, a $500 investment. Focus on building, not just earning. Instead of always chasing a paycheck, ask, what can I build that will continue to earn without me? Document everything. Build assets that can be reused, repackaged, or resold. Templates, processes, guides, trainings, and more. Think long-term. Ownership compounds. You might not see big money in the first month, but in a year, 2 years, 5 years, you'll be amazed what you've built. Ownership is leverage in disguise. Once you own something, you can start applying all forms of leverage to it. Turn your written guide into a video series. Automate your sales with a funnel. Hire someone to manage fulfillment. Use money to promote it. Build a brand around it. Suddenly, that one thing you created becomes a machine, generating impact and income beyond anything a paycheck could ever offer. In the next chapter, we're going to take things even further and explore how to scale your impact, how to move from one-to-one to one-to-many using leverage. Because ownership is just the start. Scaling is how you grow wealth that lasts. Let's go bigger. Chapter 5. Scaling your impact. Imagine this. You create something once. Maybe it's a product, a video, a book, a solution. And instead of reaching one person at a time, it reaches 100, then 1,000, then 10,000. That's the power of scaling your impact. This chapter is about going from one-to-one to one-to-many. It's where we shift from surviving off labor to thriving through leverage. Because once you understand how to scale, you unlock a level of growth, freedom, and wealth that most people never experience. Let's explore how the game changes when your work stops being small and starts being scalable. What does it mean to scale? To scale means to increase your results without increasing your workload. It's when one effort leads to many outcomes. It's the opposite of repeating the same task over and over again. It's how creators, entrepreneurs, and business owners grow faster than employees ever can. For example, a coach teaching one person is not scalable. A coach recording a video course once and selling it to thousands is scalable. A consultant solving a problem on a Zoom call is not scalable. A consultant turning that solution into a digital product is scalable. Scaling is what turns knowledge into cash flow. It's what turns ideas into empires. The leverage of one-to-many. Let's say you're a skilled expert at something: fitness, finance, mindset, design, anything. You can coach someone one-on-one for $100 per hour. Or record your teachings once, package them into a course, and sell it to 10,000 people at $50 each. The first model maxes out at your available hours. The second model has no ceiling. That's the shift. And here's the kicker. The second model takes less of your time long-term. This is the essence of scalable leverage. You remove yourself from the repetition and let systems, content, or capital carry the weight. Tools that help you scale. To scale your impact, you need multipliers, tools that allow one action to reach many. Here are 5 of the most powerful. 1. Content creation. YouTube, TikTok, podcasts, blogs, Instagram, books. These platforms multiply your voice, your message, your value. Example: one YouTube video can generate leads and income for years, even while you sleep. 2. Email marketing. Build a list, own your audience, speak directly to them at scale. One email can sell a product to thousands instantly. Email is one of the highest ROI tools in all of digital business. 3. Automated sales systems. Funnels, landing pages, checkout systems, email sequences. Set them up once. Let them run 24/7. You don't need to manually sell. Let the system do it for you. 4. Digital products. E-books, guides, templates, courses, memberships. These are assets you create once and sell forever. No inventory, no shipping, no limits. 5. Paid advertising. Run ads to drive traffic to your systems. Scale your exposure exponentially. With $10 a day, you can reach hundreds or thousands of people every day. Real-world examples of scaling. Let's look at some success models that apply this concept. A teacher who builds a course on classroom management and sells it on Teachers Pay Teachers. A chef who creates a YouTube channel sharing recipes and earns through ads, sponsorships, and their own seasoning brand. A personal finance coach who turns her one-on-one lessons into a membership site and reaches thousands. A fitness trainer who scales through Instagram Reels, builds an app, and sells 30-day programs digitally. Each one went from one-to-one labor to one-to-many leverage. They didn't get luckier. They got smarter with scale. The freedom in scaling. When you scale your impact, you earn while you sleep. You reach people you've never met. You multiply income without multiplying stress. You create time freedom for yourself and your family. It doesn't mean you stop working. It means your work multiplies. Every action becomes a seed. And those seeds can grow into forests if planted in the right systems. This is what the wealthy understand deeply. They're not obsessed with hourly pay. They're obsessed with building scalable assets. How to start scaling today. Scaling doesn't require perfection. It requires action. Here's how to begin. Choose your core message or skill. What do you know that others would pay to learn, understand, or use? Package it. Can you turn it into a video, a guide, a system, a product? Publish it. Choose a platform. YouTube, Instagram, email, podcast, whatever suits your voice. Automate it. Use tools to take yourself out of the loop. Autoresponders, checkout systems, calendar schedulers. Promote it. Organic content, paid ads, partnerships. Get attention and let your system convert. You don't need millions to scale. You don't need to be famous. You don't need a giant team. You don't need venture capital. You need a message, a system, and the courage to start. Scaling is for everyone now, not just tech CEOs. It's for the teacher, the writer, the fitness coach, the artist, the mompreneur, the side hustler. It's for you. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to build systems that pay you, the true backbone of leveraged wealth. Because once your systems work without you, you've officially stepped off the hamster wheel and into freedom. Let's build that next. Chapter 6. Building systems that pay you. Here's a powerful truth. If you don't build a system, you'll forever be part of someone else's. That means if you want freedom, if you want time back, and if you want wealth that doesn't require constant hustle, then you need to create systems that pay you. This chapter is all about building smart, simple, scalable systems that work even when you don't. Systems are the key to multiplying your results, reclaiming your time, and stepping into true financial independence. Let's break this down. What is a system? A system is a repeatable, reliable process that produces consistent results without requiring your constant presence. It can be powered by technology, like automation tools, people, like a team or virtual assistants, content, like pre-recorded videos or scheduled emails, money, like ad campaigns or investments. A system is a machine you build once that delivers value over and over again. And when done right, that machine prints freedom. Why systems beat hustle. We've been told to hustle, work harder, stay up later, grind more than everyone else. But hustle has limits. Systems don't. With hustle, your output is capped by your energy. Your income is tied to your time. You burn out fast. With systems, you multiply your output. You remove yourself from the bottleneck. You gain scalability and sustainability. The most successful entrepreneurs and creators don't work more than everyone else. They've just systematized their value. They record a sales video once. They automate delivery. They schedule email marketing. They hire support. They step back, and the business still runs. The anatomy of a money-making system. Let's look at what a basic income-generating system might include. Traffic source. Where are the people coming from? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Google, email, ads. Value delivery. What free or low-cost content brings them in? Free lead magnet, mini course, helpful post. Conversion mechanism. How do they become buyers? Sales page, funnel, webinar, demo, product page. Fulfillment system. How is the product or service delivered? Automated download, email sequence, membership portal. Follow-up system. How are they nurtured or resold later? Email marketing, retargeting ads, community, newsletters. Once built, this system can operate 24/7, 365 days a year. You can be sleeping, traveling, or enjoying dinner, and your business keeps moving. That's not a fantasy. That's a well-oiled system. Real-life examples of systems that pay. Let's walk through some relatable examples. The online course creator films 10 modules of content over 2 weeks, hosts it on a course platform like Teachable or Kajabi, sets up an email funnel that sells it to new leads automatically, earns $100 to $500 per sale without lifting a finger after setup. The author writes an ebook on Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, promotes it through social media and email. Readers buy it globally at any time. Income comes in around the clock. The digital shop owner creates Canva templates or Notion dashboards, lists them on Etsy or Gumroad, uses Pinterest and TikTok to generate traffic. Buyers download automatically. No customer support required. Each of these examples represents a system built on assets, not labor. They work once and work forever. Tools that build and run systems. Here are some simple tools you can start using to build your own systems. Email marketing, ConvertKit, MailChimp, or ActiveCampaign. Landing pages and funnels, ClickFunnels, lead pages, Systeme.io. Course platforms, Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific. Digital product delivery, Gumroad, Payhip, Sendowl. Scheduling and automation, Calendly, Zapier, Buffer, Notion. Project management, Team systems, Trello, Asana, Slack, ClickUp. Start small. Don't get overwhelmed by tools. The goal is efficiency, not complexity. Delegation is a system too. Remember, systems aren't always tech-based. People are systems too. If you're overwhelmed, delegate. Hire a virtual assistant to manage email. Get a freelancer to build your website. Pay someone to edit your videos. You don't need to know how to do everything. You need to know what's worth your time and what's not. Let go of control. Gain leverage. Build once. Benefit forever. Here's the golden rule of systems. If you do something more than twice, you should systematize it. That could mean automating it, documenting it, outsourcing it, or templating it. Every system you build is like planting a money tree. Water it once and let it grow. Then plant another, and another. Soon you've created an income forest, not a job. From operator to architect. To truly shift from labor to leverage, you have to stop being just the operator of your work and become the architect of systems. Architects don't swing hammers all day. They design the blueprint. They hire the crew. They oversee the process. And they walk away with the value. Start thinking like a builder. Create processes, not just projects. And always ask yourself, how can I build this once and let it pay me forever? In the next chapter, we'll unlock one of the most powerful systems of all, investing. Because when your money works harder than you do, you finally experience what wealth really feels like. Let's make your money earn its keep. Chapter 7. Investing for leverage. What if you could put your money to work like an employee, one who never sleeps, never complains, and grows more valuable over time? That's the power of investing for leverage. Up until now, we've talked about building systems, creating content, using automation, and owning assets that scale your income. But in this chapter, we'll unlock one of the most important leverage vehicles of all, money itself. Because while labor and content may create income, Investing creates wealth. Let's explore how to turn your dollars into soldiers, working day and night to grow your financial freedom. The rich don't work for money. Their money works for them. Most people work for every dollar they earn. Wealthy people flip that script. They build systems and invest capital so that money works for them, not the other way around. This is why the wealth gap continues to grow, not because rich people are working harder, but because they understand that. Money is a tool, not just a reward. When you begin to see each dollar as an employee that can bring back more dollars, you stop spending impulsively and start investing intentionally. This is how you create financial leverage. What is financial leverage? Financial leverage is when you use money, either your own or other people's, to generate more money without requiring more of your time. Here are a few ways this shows up in the real world. Buying a rental property that pays you monthly income, purchasing stocks or index funds that grow in value and pay dividends, investing in ads that bring you customers and multiply your product sales, acquiring a business that already has systems in place, using a loan to build a system that pays back more than it costs. In each case, the money you deploy is earning while you sleep. That's the difference between saving money and scaling money. The power of compound growth. Albert Einstein reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world, and for good reason. When you invest wisely and let your money grow year after year, you experience the most powerful financial force available to ordinary people. Here's a simple example. Invest $10,000 in an asset that grows 10% annually. In 1 year, $11,000. In 5 years, $16,100. In 10 years, $25,900. In 20 years, over $67,000. In 30 years, over $174,000. That's without adding another dollar. Time plus growth equals wealth. But here's the secret most people miss. You have to start now. Not when you're rich. Not when you feel ready. Now. Even small amounts become big when compounded with time and consistency. Investing versus spending, the wealthy mindset shift. The middle class spends money on new clothes, gadgets, vacations, status symbols. The wealthy invest money in income-producing assets, business tools, education and mentorship, scalable systems. Both spend. Only one gets richer. Every time money leaves your hand, ask, is this going to grow or is this going to disappear? You don't need to be frugal. You need to be focused. Invest like your freedom depends on it, because it does. Types of investments that create leverage. Let's break down a few powerful options you can explore depending on your budget, interests, and goals. 1. Stock market, passive leverage. Index funds like VTI or the S&P 500. Dividend-paying stocks. REITs, real estate investment trusts. Easy to start. Long-term growth. Low maintenance. You're buying small pieces of large companies that work around the clock. 2. Real estate. Cash flow plus appreciation. Rental properties. Airbnb or vacation rentals. Multifamily units. Commercial property. Monthly income. Property value grows over time. Tax benefits. With smart property management, this can become a passive asset over time. 3. Digital asset investment. Buying or building websites. Purchasing established YouTube channels Buying digital product businesses. Example, Shopify stores. Scalable. No physical overhead. Can run with minimal effort once optimized. Digital real estate is the modern gold mine. 4. Business investment. Start your own online business. Buy into a franchise. Partner with a proven entrepreneur. Fund someone else's business in exchange for equity. High upside. Leverage systems and people. Ownership equals leverage. Risk is higher, but so is the potential reward. 5. Education as investment. Courses that teach a monetizable skill. Coaching that shortens your learning curve. Books that shift your mindset or unlock clarity. Cheapest to start. Transforms your earning ability. Pays dividends for life. Never underestimate the ROI of self-education. The rule of ROI, return on investment. When investing for leverage, always ask, what's the return on this investment? Not just in money, but in time and opportunity cost. Let's say you spend $1,000 on ads and make $3,000 in sales. That's a 3x return on investment. Invest $2,000 in a course that helps you land a $10,000 freelance contract. That's a 5x return on investment. Put $500 a month into index funds over 30 years. You could end up with over $1 million. These are leverage moves. They create disproportionate upside compared to the input. This is how the wealthy think. Every dollar has a job. Every investment has an expected outcome. They're not just consumers. They're capital allocators. The myth of needing a lot to start. You don't need 6 figures to become an investor. Start small. Start consistent. Start now. $10 into ETFs. $100 into a digital ad campaign. $500 into a used camera to start a YouTube channel. $1,000 into a digital course that teaches you a new skill. Every great investor started as a beginner. Don't wait until you're ready. Ready comes from action, not theory. Let money be the worker. You've worked hard for your money. Now it's time your money works for you. Let go of the paycheck-only mindset. Let go of hoarding cash in fear. Start allocating your money into assets, not liabilities. Because once your money starts earning on your behalf, day and night, you experience something few people ever do: financial independence. In the next chapter, we'll go even deeper, because even with money, systems, and leverage, none of it works without the right mindset. We'll explore how to rewire your beliefs from worker to wealth creator, because you'll never build externally what you haven't shifted internally. Let's level up your thinking next. Chapter 8. Mindset shifts from worker to wealth creator. Let me be blunt. You can't build wealth with a worker's mindset. You can have the right tools, the best strategy, all the leverage in the world. But if your thinking is still programmed for labor, fear, or scarcity, you will sabotage every opportunity you touch. That's why this chapter is devoted to what might be the most important transformation of all: shifting your identity from a worker to a wealth creator. This isn't just about doing different things, it's about becoming a different person. Because your external world will never outgrow your internal beliefs. The hidden programming of the worker mindset. Most people have been conditioned since childhood to think like employees. Follow instructions. Don't take risks. Show up on time. Trade time for money. Wait for permission. Work harder, not smarter. This is the blueprint for obedient workers, not for creative, free, wealthy individuals. It's not your fault. It's the system. but it is your responsibility to reprogram it. If you don't, you'll keep playing it safe, fearing failure, resisting ownership, overvaluing certainty, undervaluing freedom. Wealth creators think differently. They see risk as opportunity. They see time as more valuable than money. They see ownership as power. Laborers work in the system. Wealth creators build the system. This is the fundamental divide. Laborers ask, how do I get paid? Creators ask, how do I build something that pays others and me? The laborer works in a machine. The wealth creator builds the machine. The laborer fears being replaced. The wealth creator replaces themselves on purpose, using systems and people. The laborer waits for raises. The wealth creator creates value that dictates their income. Which one are you? Which one are you becoming? Your identity drives your results. Let's talk about something powerful: identity alignment. You will never consistently behave in a way that contradicts your core identity. If you see yourself as just a regular employee, you'll avoid entrepreneurial action. Not good with money, you'll subconsciously repel wealth. A perfectionist, you'll delay action indefinitely. A hustler who grinds, you'll reject rest, systems, and scale. You don't need more hustle. You need a new self-image. You must begin to see yourself as a builder, a leader, a thinker, a creator, a value provider, a solution scaler. This new identity creates space for bigger behaviors, which lead to bigger outcomes. From scarcity to abundance thinking. The worker mindset says, there's not enough. I have to fight for scraps. I have to protect what I have. The creator mindset says, I can create more. There's infinite value. I build solutions that multiply. Scarcity breeds fear. Abundance breeds confidence. Scarcity hoards. Abundance invests. Scarcity waits for approval. Abundance gives value first. If you want wealth, think like a source, not a sink. You are not here to just consume. You are here to create, circulate, and elevate. Common beliefs that block wealth and how to replace them. Let's destroy some myths that might be holding you back. Money is the root of all evil. Replace with, money is a tool for good in the hands of the right person. I have to work hard to be worthy. Replace with, my worth is not tied to labor. It's tied to the value I create. I'm not a business person. Replace with, I am learning to build systems that align with who I am. What if I fail? Replace with, what if I succeed? What if I learn? What if it changes everything? Your beliefs will either open doors or lock them shut. Choose carefully. The wealth creator's thought habits. Let's look at how successful wealth builders think and act daily. They ask better questions. Not, how do I make money? But, how do I create value that people pay for? They take calculated risks. Risk becomes a tool for growth, not a threat to security. They embrace imperfection. Progress beats perfection. Speed wins. They seek leverage in everything. How can this scale is a daily thought. They study success relentlessly. Books, courses, mentors, always upgrading the mind. They focus on long-term gains. No get-rich-quick. Just build right consistently. They take full ownership, no blame, no excuses. Full control. This isn't magic. It's discipline. It's awareness. It's choice. the cost of not evolving. Let's be honest, some people will hear all this and stay the same. They'll nod, agree, maybe feel inspired, and then return to the same habits, the same beliefs, the same paycheck mentality. Why? Because changing your identity feels uncomfortable. It requires killing your old story, letting go of old narratives, detaching from familiar limitations. But the cost of staying the same is far greater. Years lost in jobs that don't inspire. Potential never tapped. Freedom never found. Wealth never built. Regret that lingers. Don't let comfort kill your calling. Becoming a wealth creator starts now. You don't need permission. You don't need credentials. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to decide, I no longer think like a worker. I create value. I build assets. I design systems. I am becoming the person who creates wealth, not just earns it. Every action after that decision will feel different, more intentional, more strategic, more powerful. You'll stop seeing yourself as the labor and start seeing yourself as the leverage. In the next chapter, we'll look at the most common mistakes people make when transitioning from labor to leverage, and how to avoid the painful traps that derail most people on this journey. Because the path is real, but it's not always smooth. Let's make sure you don't stumble. Chapter 9. Common mistakes people make when transitioning. Let's be clear. The shift from trading labor for money to building leverage-based wealth is one of the most powerful decisions you'll ever make. But it's also one of the most misunderstood and frequently fumbled. This chapter is about protecting your path. Because while the road to leverage is lined with opportunity, it's also filled with detours, distractions, and landmines that can slow you down or send you right back to the rat race. Let's break down the most common mistakes people make when transitioning from worker to wealth creator, and how you can avoid them. Mistake number 1, quitting too soon. Here's the most heartbreaking pattern. Someone hears about leverage. They get excited and launch a product, course, video, or store. It doesn't explode overnight. They give up and go back to a job. This is the quick success syndrome, the false belief that leverage pays off instantly. But remember, systems take time to build. Most successful people struggled before they succeeded. They showed up when no one was watching. They planted seeds long before the harvest. The fix? Play long-term games. Leverage compounds, but only for the consistent. Be willing to be invisible while you're becoming valuable. Mistake number 2, chasing too many models at once. One day it's dropshipping. Next day, affiliate marketing. Then cryptocurrency. Then coaching. Then YouTube. The result? Scattered focus. Half-built systems. Burnout. The truth is, you don't need 10 income streams. You need one that works. Start with one lane. Master it. Build a system. Scale it. Then expand. The fix? Go deep before you go wide. Commit to one leveraged path until it pays you without your daily input. Mistake number 3, treating leverage like a side hustle instead of a system. Too many people approach leverage with an employee mindset. How much can I make in 30 days? Can I do this quickly before work? I'll test it for a weekend. But leverage isn't a side hustle. It's a wealth engine. And engines require architecture, not random energy. The fix? Build infrastructure, not just income. Document processes, create assets, install automation. Think like a business owner, not a side hustler. Mistake number 4, avoiding the boring work. Everyone wants the launch, Few people want the logistics. Creating landing pages, setting up email flows, editing videos, writing content. These tasks aren't glamorous, but they're what make the system work. Avoiding the boring work is like trying to build a house without nails. The fix? Fall in love with the unsexy steps. Wealth doesn't come from inspiration. It comes from implementation. Mistake number 5. Underpricing your value. When transitioning from worker to creator, many people undercharge. Why? Because they still see their value in hours, not results. But leverage isn't about time. It's about transformation. If your product solves a $10,000 problem, it doesn't matter if it only took you 5 hours to make. The fix? Price based on outcome, not effort. Your time isn't the product. Your value is. Mistake number 6. Being afraid to invest. Many people are afraid to spend money on tools, coaching, ads, or platforms. They stay stuck in the free version of everything and wonder why they aren't growing. But here's the truth. You can't build a premium life with a poverty mindset. You don't need to throw money around, but you do need to invest in systems, skills, and speed. The fix? Let your money buy back time and growth. The best investment isn't just stocks, it's execution speed. Mistake number 7. Thinking you have to do it all yourself. When you're used to being a one-person show, it feels hard to let go. But if you're doing everything, you're likely slowing yourself down. Remember, leverage means people too. Outsource what drains you. Delegate what delays you. Focus on your zone of genius. The fix? Ask, who can help? Not just, how do I do this? Success is a team sport. Mistake number 8. Forgetting the mission. In pursuit of money, it's easy to lose the message. But leverage isn't just about cash flow. It's about impact. Your audience, customers, and clients feel the difference between someone chasing dollars and someone chasing meaning. Money follows mission, not the other way around. The fix? Stay rooted in service. Build something that makes people's lives better, and they'll pay you gladly. How to stay on track during the transition. Here are a few guiding principles to anchor you. Have a long-term vision. Don't expect leverage to pay off in weeks. Expect it to transform your life in years. Track process, not just profit. Celebrate building systems, improving your skills, and showing up before the income ever shows. Get in community. Surround yourself with other builders. Join masterminds, Facebook groups, or forums. Success is contagious. Keep learning. Treat every failure as feedback, every result as a data point, every struggle as a lesson. Don't stop. Momentum matters more than magic. In the final chapter, we're going to bring everything together. You've learned the labor model. You've discovered the power of leverage. You've seen the mindset, the systems, the opportunities. Now, it's time to build your personal blueprint, a step-by-step plan to escape the labor trap and create leveraged wealth for life. Let's finish strong. Chapter 10. Your personal blueprint to wealth through leverage. Now that you've seen the truth behind labor and leverage, it's time to turn knowledge into action. This chapter is about creating your personal blueprint, a roadmap tailored to your current situation, your strengths, and your dreams. Because wealth through leverage isn't just for CEOs or tech founders. It's for teachers, creators, tradespeople, freelancers, and everyday people with a vision and a willingness to build. This is where your journey truly begins. Step 1. Define what wealth means to you. Before you chase leverage, ask yourself, what am I really building this for? Is it freedom from the 9 to 5? More time with your kids? The ability to travel whenever you want? Financial security for your family? A legacy that outlives you? Wealth is not just a number. It's a feeling, a lifestyle, a level of freedom. Your definition matters. It keeps you grounded when the work gets hard and the results take time. So write it down. Make it real. Wealth to me means, write down your answer. Step 2. Pick a leveraged path to start. You've learned several vehicles in this audiobook. Now it's time to choose your first one. Here are a few starter paths to consider. Content creation: YouTube, podcast, Instagram, blogging. Digital products: ebooks, online courses, templates. Affiliate marketing: recommending products for commission. Service plus systems: turn your freelancing into a scalable agency. Coaching, consulting. One-to-one, then one-to-many. Digital real estate: build a niche site or YouTube channel. Software or tools: create simple apps or automations. Real estate investing: start with a rental property. Stock market investing: build long-term passive growth. Email list building: own your audience, promote products. Don't try them all. Choose the one that aligns with your skills, resources, and interests. Master it. Then expand. Step 3. Set a 6-month and 12-month goal. Don't wait for motivation. Use momentum. Break your blueprint into 2 powerful timelines. 6-month goal: build your first product, content system, or investment. Earn your first dollar online, the hardest dollar you'll ever make. Complete your automation or asset creation. Launch a system that generates income while you sleep. This goal should stretch you, but remain realistic. It's about proving to yourself that leverage works. 12-month goal: replace 25 to 50% of your labor-based income. Have at least one system running consistently. Be building an audience, list, or community. Be reinvesting profits into ads, growth, or new products. Write both goals down, make them specific, and revisit them every week to track progress. Step 4. Build the habit of leverage. Wealth isn't an event, it's a process, and the more consistent your habits, the faster your systems grow. Here are some powerful weekly habits to install. 1 leveraged action per day. Post content. Write a page. Automate a task. Weekly learning. Read 1 chapter. Watch 1 tutorial. Listen to 1 podcast. System review. Improve your funnels, emails, content reach. Delegate 1 task. Free up time for high leverage focus. Track your KPIs. Monitor growth, leads, engagement, and income. Each small action stacks into massive results over time. Step 5. Invest in speed and skill. Remember, money can buy leverage, but also time and expertise. Hire a coach to guide you. Buy a course to shortcut your learning curve. Use paid tools that automate your systems. Pay others to handle what slows you down. Poor people spend time to save money. Wealthy people spend money to save time. Start thinking like an investor in your own future. Step 6. Build in public. The best way to grow faster is to document your journey. Share your progress on social media. Build an audience around your story. Create content about what you're learning, Offer value even before you're successful. People love transparency. They don't follow perfection. They follow real progress. And from that audience, you'll create traffic, trust, and future income. Step 7. Reinvest, repeat, and refine. Once your first system is up and running, it's time to reinvest profits into traffic, tools, or team. Repeat the process with another product or platform. Refine your systems for efficiency, automation, and scale. This is how wealth grows. One system becomes 2. 2 systems become 4. Soon, you've replaced your job, and then some. You'll wake up one day and realize, I no longer work for money. My systems, content, team, and capital, they work for me. That's the leverage life. The blueprint summary. Let's recap your roadmap. Define what wealth means to you. Choose a leverage path aligned with your strengths. Set a 6-month and 12-month goal. Take one leveraged action per day. Invest in tools, skills, and guidance. Build in public to attract opportunity. Reinvest profits and scale with intention. This is your new life. Not someday, but starting now. In the next and final chapter, we'll bring everything together and give you a lasting message. A reminder that leverage isn't just a strategy. It's a mindset, a movement, and a new way to live. Let's finish strong in the conclusion. Conclusion: the time is now. You've come a long way. From the old model of labor to the modern power of leverage. From trading hours for dollars to building systems, owning assets, and creating value that scales. This journey hasn't just been about money. It's been about freedom, about reclaiming your time, about stepping into a life where you own the results, not just rent them with your labor. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this audiobook, it's this. You are not stuck. You are not limited. You are not too late. The tools are here. The platforms are open. The opportunities are greater than they've ever been. What used to require capital, connections, or credentials now only requires commitment. Your new identity. You are no longer just a worker. You are a builder, a creator, a strategist, a leader of systems. You're not chasing money. You're building machines that attract it. You're not hoping for freedom. You're designing it, step by step. And if doubt ever creeps in, remember, you're playing a new game now. A game most people never even realize exists. A game where effort is multiplied and time is protected. From today forward, let this audiobook be your permission slip to stop playing small. Start building big. Detach your identity from hard labor. Embrace smart leverage. Own your future, not borrow it. Whether you're just starting with your first digital product, investing your first $100, creating your first video, or documenting your journey for the first time, you're already ahead. Why? Because awareness is everything. And you now see what most people never do. You don't get rich by working harder. You get rich by building things that work harder than you. One final reminder. Wealth isn't about escape. It's about expansion. You're not building leverage to run from work. You're building it to do more meaningful work. On your terms, on your time, and for your vision. And that's real freedom. So go build. Go launch. Go invest. Go scale. Go help. Go become. The time for labor is over. The time for leverage is now. Your future is waiting. Go create it.